This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic.
Grass tastes bad.
And we are back for the Rick and Johnny podcast right here on Most Valuable Podcasts. If you're on YouTube, hello. It is great to see your wonderful faces today. If you're on Blog Talk Radio, MVP.com on audio, if you're on Spreaker, if you're on TuneIn, if you're on Stitcher, thank you guys for giving us the listen today. We really appreciate it. Got a jam-packed nerdy show. If you're new to the show, if you're new to the show, we talk about movies, entertainment, nerd stuff, superhero stuff, and we got a jam-packed nerdy podcast talking a lot of Marvel, and we're talking a little Star Wars. So we got a jam-packed show for you guys. Before we get into everything, though, got to do a little bit of the housekeepings, Johnny. And number one, first off, if you haven't already, go ahead, get your MVP t-shirts. Those are down below in the description. $22 a pop. That is including shipping. All that information is in the description. If you also like what you see in here, you like what we do with MVP, you want to help keep the lights on each and every day, go over to patreon.com/most valuable podcast. We have different tiers for how you want to support us to get a little bit return from us. And also, if you want to be a part of the $10 tier, you can join some of our great patrons and be on a podcast each and every month. You are at that tier. Finally, MVP.com and iTunes. If you haven't already, check out mostvaluablepodcast.com. We just got it thanks to those patrons I just mentioned a moment ago, and that is where you'll find everything for MVP. And then finally, if you're on iTunes, you have an iTunes account, please go and give the Rick and Johnny podcast a 5-star rating. It would mean the world to us. However, Johnny, like I said, we got a jam-packed show today, talking a little bit of Kitty Pryde, which originally when I pitched this, you said, do we really need to talk about Kitty Pryde? But yes, we do. She could be getting her own solo movie. Then we're going to look at Star Wars. Can J.J. Abrams correct the course? I'm using that in air quotes because not everyone has the same opinion for Star Wars Episode 9. Then we're going to look at a Black Widow movie because apparently that's now in development. And then we're going to look at the 2018 kind of schedule for the Spider-Verse and kind of look at what we can expect from the Spider-Verse in 2018. But Johnny, let's start off. We're talking Kitty Pryde.
Yes.
And according to Collider.com, probably said Collider.com, sources have confirmed that Tim Miller, not TJ Miller, Tim Miller of Deadpool is hard at work at a Kitty Pryde solo film. So the question I'm going to ask you, Johnny, is plain and simple. A Kitty Pryde solo movie. Picture, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Picture it in your head. You got Kitty Pryde in your head. You got her up on the big screen in a solo movie. Here's the question. Open your eyes. Should we care? Should we even care?
Honestly, we don't need it. Mm-hmm. There's so many other characters that we can get solo films for that we can. I'm not opposed. I'll go see it. They'll get my money. Mm-hmm. But I'm not like
it's Marvel. They'll get my money.
They're gonna get my money.
Well, it's Marvel Fox. They'll get my money.
Well, by that time, it should be Disney, right? Mm-hmm.
So it should be. It should be 2019. The deal should be hopefully all sorted through, and it should be Disney's hands.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, why do we need a Kitty Pryde movie out of everyone? I mean, yeah, I know I was looking through online just some storylines, and there are storylines for her, but it's like she's not one of like the best known characters of
X-Men, Marvel.
And, I mean, yeah, she's better known than a bunch of the other ones. Some of the randoms, I'll just say, almost like extras.
Yeah,
but she's not even like the core group that we know about. Mm-hmm. Like, right, if you ask most people, oh, who are name me like 5 X-Men. How many times do you think you'll hear Kitty Pryde?
Not
right away.
It would definitely not be in the top 5. Maybe not even in the top 10. Like I would even think like the lowest number I would say is maybe if you were trying to name 15 X-Men.
Well, I mean, she might even be in the top 10. Hell, depending on the person, she might be in the top 5 of like ones they name off. But majority of people, I would think, would go like Oh, Professor X, Jean Grey,
I was
Wolverine,
just gonna
Cyclops,
say,
Beast.
one of us do it right now. It's what you
Gambit.
said. Professor X, Gambit, Wolverine, Cyclops, Jubilee. I'm gonna go Colossus, Beast, Iceman. No, not Iceman.
Yeah, it's Iceman.
Iceman, Rogue, Storm, Jean Grey. That's 11, and I didn't even get to her. I went one extra.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't even get, and the point is...
I'm a little disappointed that Jubilee came before so many of those other ones, though.
That's exactly it, though. Like, it's, you look at it and go, that's not a top 5 of like, oh, here's my top 5 favorite X-Men, but it's the ones that pop to the head.
I'm just going to say, too, thank you for naming the roster of the 90s X-Men that we...
Thank you. You were getting my point there. The X-Men we watched...
No, you didn't name Beast, I did.
Yeah, well,
you
mentioned him before, so it was kind of in my head. Havoc, I would throw him out there.
Havoc's there, yeah.
Banshee, Angel.
Yeah.
Yet again, we're naming more and getting Kitty Pryde. Maybe people are sitting there at home going, well, guys, you're trying to make a point for your own side. Some people might think of her first.
And I said that's a possibility, but I don't think, like, again, top 5, it's going to be just the top 5. I'd say, like, Storm, Professor X, Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean Grey are probably your core characters right there.
Here's what I think, and this is my kind of thought.
Core might be the wrong term.
If we're going to add Kitty Pryde to... Because the thing I look at, too, is when they say, like, oh, Tim Miller is the one that's developing this, and this is really much in, like, the very early stages of development.
Yeah.
We're just talking about it because sources told Collider that there's going to be a Kitty Pryde solo movie at some point. The thing that I think about, though, is, first off, Tim Miller, if I'm not mistaken, has been one of the more vocal people that had been against the Disney Fox buyout. He was one of the ones that was like, you know what, please, like, when the merger was almost happening, and I don't even know if merger's the right word. Buyout's probably the best word. Before the buyout happened, he was kind of urging Fox not to make the deal almost. Mainly because I can see what he's looking at is he makes a living right now off of Deadpool, and Deadpool's a rated R movie. Will Disney want to keep that on? And I think Disney right now has said they don't plan to change anything about Deadpool or that.
I think they decide so far they've decided to keep it R-rated and everything. Which,
it's like, why would you change it? It's making you moolah.
Exactly.
Disney loves the moolah.
Exactly.
I
think they will cater to that little part to make that extra money.
Here's the other thing I think of, and this is the non-politicky side of it, is do we need a Kitty Pryde solo movie, or should we just add her into an existing movie? Because the thing I look at is we don't know what's going to happen with the X-Men. Like, yeah, we're going to have Dark Phoenix saga, but there's even a debate, and this is probably for a future podcast. I don't know how we haven't talked about this yet.
That's true.
Of because of the Fox Disney deal, do you just blow up the current X-Men universe and restart over? Basically, Avengers Infinity War happened. Everything got changed. And here's the X-Men.
I mean, it's possible. We have to wait and see what number 4, what happens in number 4.
Which
to know
apparently is going to be a
direction
time travel movie, they say.
Yeah. But we'll have to see what that entails in order to see what happens to the rest of the Marvel Universe, because that's going to be the end of
Phase 3.
Phase 3. Yeah, exactly.
But
so, I mean, what's gonna happen in that to make everything change?
Here's another point, and this is the greater point that's going to, and I'm glad you brought up the end of Phase 3 into Phase 4, is I think the movie that Kitty Pryde fits in the best is not her own solo movie. I think she fits in Guardians of the Galaxy.
You think so?
And the reason why is I'm looking at the Screen Rant article of, will she be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Well, we have now recently learned a few days after that article that James Gunn had come out and said that basically the Disney-Fox deal is not going to affect anything because he was tweeted. The tweet that he was at was, if Disney succeeds in purchasing Fox, will it change the story of GOTG 3? James Gunn had an easy answer. You want to know what it was? It was 3 letters and a period, or 2 letters and a period. No. Plain and simple. No more, no less. Just no. It's not going to change anything. So for Guardians 3, we know she wouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
But if there's a Guardians 4 or beyond, because the Guardians are the most interesting group to me in the MCU, because yes, right now, the core that we have is Rocket, Groot, Drax, Star-Lord, and Gamora.
But that changes.
However, they are the most fluid of kind of a group to where it's sometimes Star-Lord's not there, sometimes Rocket's not there. Like, they kind of use different people and have taken on different forms throughout their run in the comics. So
that's true.
Maybe we see her added where it's like, okay, we get rid of a Drax, or we get rid of a Gamora, or we get rid of a, I don't know if you get rid of Star-Lord, but that could happen, and you add a Kitty Pryde. Or, oh, we get rid of, what I could see is getting rid of Gamora because of Infinity War. What if Thanos kills her, kills his own daughter? That's a possibility in this
That's very
movie.
possible at that point.
And then you have to add another romantic interest for Star-Lord, step in Kitty Pryde.
True. That's if there's a Guardians of the Galaxy 4.
Because she's not going to be in 3.
No, and again, that's all depends on now what happens with the Marvel Universe after Infinity Wars, which is great. Is Infinity Wars 4, which is a great way to, I guess, making it time travel, making it segue, and be able to change up the Marvel Universe, and then add the new franchise of X-Men. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. X-Men and
I was looking at
Fantastic
you, and for
Four.
a second I was like, I can't help you. I don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, but be able to add, like, tie in again, like pull into that franchise of X-Men and
because eventually
Fantastic Four.
Because once the buyout has happened and done, we're going to get X-Men. They're bringing them into the MCU.
Yeah.
It's basically how I see it is, hey, while we wait for the logistics to be settled out with the buyout, let's have a plan in place. I would be shocked if Kevin Feige and the heads at the MCU were not already thinking to some capacity of how in the future do we bring the X-Men in.
Yeah, well, not just them, Fantastic Four.
Yeah, well, the whole Fox universe.
I'm just saying so everyone knows.
And have had the debate of, do we blow up the X-Men universe? Do we not blow up the X-Men universe? The other thing that's interesting about Kitty Pryde, though, is that she would, and correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny, she would fit in pretty nicely with Phase 4 because of her ties to space. And really, that's what they say Phase 4 is going to be more of like the, not galactic, but the more like cosmic.
Yeah, cosmic. There
That's
you go.
the word
That's the
I'm
word.
looking for. She would fit into that. I mean, you mentioned before we were recording is, I guess she is a dragon.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool. I don't know what that's about. I honestly, I'll be blatantly honest. I haven't read much, if anything, on Kitty Pryde, just because she wasn't one of those characters that I really thought about often.
Yeah.
So I don't really know her Guardians of the Galaxy ties. I see stuff about it, and I don't know where her dragon ties in with that.
Yeah, that's
or if that ties in with that. Because I mean,
yeah, well,
Marvel Universe, we have Fing Fang Foom, and he's just a mystical dragon monster.
Well, the dragon came in, and I'm looking here because I wasn't totally familiar on him as well.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was in Uncanny X-Men 166 that Kitty Pryde and other X-Men were in space. And it was during this very mission that Kitty encountered an alien creature that resembled a small purple dragon. She called him Lockheed. The two would be inseparable for years, and the alien dragon would be a constant reminder that should have been reminder of Kitty's first trip to the cosmos. So maybe we get that. Maybe it's a solo movie of, hey, we're setting up this cosmic universe. Kitty Pryde's already in space. The only thing is she a part of the X-Men and they're in space, or is it Kitty Pryde on her own? Because that's another thing that you got to think about is a solo movie for Kitty Pryde. Is she interesting enough as a character to do it on herself? Because the one that I'm going to bring up, because we're talking about it 2 segments from now, Black Widow.
Yeah.
Although I was confused with how you would do, well, we talked about it as a comedy in the past. I was confused how you do it as a comedy. However, I would say that a character like Black Widow, maybe that's because of ScarJo, maybe, is way more interesting in a solo movie sense than Kitty Pryde.
I think so too. And I mean, again, I'll openly admit I don't know a ton of these Kitty Pryde storylines.
Well, and it also goes into effect of you as a comic book reader of you're going to be drawn to who you're interested in.
Yeah.
And if you had no interest in Kitty Pryde, like for me, the main comics that I've read with her in there are the Uncanny X-Men comics where she wasn't the main focal point.
No, she wasn't.
It wasn't like Kitty Pryde's story. It was an X-Men story, but Kitty Pryde happened to be there. Like, even look at the X-Men movie that she was in for Days of Futures Past, where
she played an important role.
She played an important role
in some
sense.
But
it wasn't her solo movie, and it was a great job of we don't have to explain why she's here. She's just here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know that she's an X-Men, she's here, and we don't have to do some special origin. That, I think, is going to be the trouble with this movie, is that they feel like they have to tell the exact origin story of Kitty Pryde because it's her movie.
Yeah, it's just because, I mean, you may have to give some form of origin, and why we haven't... why are we having a Kitty Pryde origin movie when there's like so many other ones we don't have origin movies for? And the other part of that is... I still don't get, like, if you're gonna do how she gets anything in space, because the new Phase 4,
she meets Lockheed.
Well, Phase 4 is supposed to be
cosmic,
and if we're gonna tie that in, that's probably the storyline of how she gets Lockheed, or not just that storyline.
But they meet. She's got to meet Lockheed.
She's got I would think she'd have to meet Lockheed, and then you would need. I would think it'd be you kind of need the rest of the X-Men because that's how the storyline goes, or at least some of them. And be as it may, if we tie, I mean, you said it's Tim Miller that's supposed to do it?
Tim Miller, who's the director of Deadpool.
If he has a tie-in with it, he could just make it like that comedy-esque, like Deadpool, and maybe even throw in Colossus, and that brings in the love interest of that.
And that brings in the Deadpool side of it, too, because Colossus is in Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that could be a tie-in there and have that like two-part storyline-ish thing there, because we don't, again, with the Marvel Universe, we don't like stick with, we're just going to take source material from this comic book and that's it.
Even look at, I get it's Sony, so this might probably work, but even look like the Venom movie. Hey, we're going to take stuff from Lethal Protector and Planet of the Symbiotes.
Exactly.
We're going to take stuff from both of these. And I mean, I heard Chris Evans talking in a video I watched it from the Ace Comic-Con panel, I believe it is. It was him, Falcon, Mackie, and then I'm forgetting his name, Stan.
Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, that guy. Basically Bucky. I can never remember his actual actor's name.
You could just call them by their character names if you really have to.
Yeah, I was trying to remember the
Sebastian
actor's
Stan,
name.
though.
I just like. I'm like, Stan, what's his name? I'm glad I didn't say Stan and you would say Lee.
Lee?
Because that's what I thought in my head. I'm like, great, he's going to say Stan Lee. But the point I'm saying is even Chris Evans was like, yeah, because he was talking about the beard. He's like, there's a lot of people that want to see Cap as this image because this is what it is in the comics, but they're taking a ton of different things to make these movies. I want to ask you one question off the top of my head. This is a surprise question for you. And this is how we're going to end the podcast. Because you're the Marvel guru here. I'm the DC guru. You're the Marvel guru. We dress you up like Mike Myers from Love Guru. And you just dance around. However, here's the last question that I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Guardians 3. We know Kitty Pryde's not going to be in it. James Gunn has basically effectively squashed that.
Yeah.
Give me one character that they should add in Guardians 3. One Marvel character that they should add. I mean, and I'm taking out that you can't say Adam Warlock because we know he's coming.
I mean, we can have Cosmo as a bigger part.
Okay.
The dog.
True. We saw him already.
We saw him. He was more
we
like
saw him in a post-credit.
More like a cameo.
With Howard the Duck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he was with...
he was in the cage, and then he was with Howard the Duck.
Yeah, he was out when he got out of the cage. When,
well, the case, I should say. Not a cage. It's a case.
Same difference.
It's like a glass. It's a glass case of emotion.
Yeah, but no, I think having him have a bigger part would be cool. And I can't think of There's one or two other characters. I can't think of what their names are, so I'm not even going to name them right now.
Okay.
But
I'll deal with Cosmos. Like that's one that I
actually have him like a part of the role.
I remember the first graphic novel Mark and I read for a graphic conversation that was a Guardians one. When the first movie came out, I was expecting Cosmos to be in the movie, like as the leader, and I was upset when he wasn't.
Yeah,
I loved Cosmos in the comics, but this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below. Are you excited for a Kitty Pryde movie? Do you think we should even care? What are your thoughts? Kitty Pryde movie, let us know what you think down below in the comment section. But Johnny, let's move on into our next topic. And this is, let's be honest, this is the only one. This is a full Disney show.
Yeah, you're right. It's fully Disney.
However, this is the one breaking up the Marvel topic for today. We have three Marvel topics, one Star Wars topic, and we're looking at Star Wars.
It's not fully Disney. We got Sony.
Oh, we got Sony. So I just assumed because Spider-Man's in the, but we're talking about the non-Sonys. It's not a full Disney podcast. We wouldn't do that to you guys. However, we're looking at Star Wars in this segment, and really the main question, I'm asking this because there's a Screen Rant article with this same title, and I want to just throw it out to you, ask you what you think, because there are some mixed reviews about Star Wars Episode 8. There are some people who love it, some people who don't love it. I was in the camp of, yes, I gave it a 4.5, I believe, out of 5, or a 4 out of 5.
I think I gave it a 4.5. You gave it a 4?
I gave it a 4. And the reason why was, you could see the review for why, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. However, you talked to yourself, but more so I would say Sean. You were in favor of the movie. However, you were critical of some things.
Yeah.
Sean loved it. He loved it better than he said Force Awakens. And the one thing Sean said that I think is the main reason why the people who like it, and why the people who don't like it, is, I'll take two examples. First off, from MVP Sean, where he says, I loved it more so than Force Awakens because it actually did something different. It went out and took a risk. And he's like, Force Awakens was just a new hope. Like, he's like, I don't want to see that. I want to see you take a risk, do something different. Which I'm like, okay, prequels tried to do that, and we fucking shit on them. So let's stay with our cookie cutter. However, there's the camp, and I don't say I'm in this camp completely, but I wouldn't be too far of it, where if you watch the YouTube channel I watch, they're huge, kind of funny, Nick Scarpino, who's in their group, he basically, his main thought after the movie was, Disney ruined my childhood. That's the part, like, that's the mindset he had. They ruined my childhood. Because there's one camp that wants to see the Force Awakens style, where I don't care if it's cookie cutter. I don't care if you think it's just like A New Hope. This is Star Wars. This is what I like. Give me what I like. But then there's a camp over here that's like, no, I want to see you take risks. I want to see you go out and have a different style and be different than all the rest. So what I want to ask you, because here's the Screen Rant article, and I'm getting to it finally, is they asked, will J.J. Abrams course correct Star Wars in Episode 9? So I want to ask you, although you were on the side that liked them taking risks and preferred the movie, do you think that A.J. Abrams' Episode 9 will be a course correct, using air quotes for my audio listeners, in Episode 9 for the whole trilogy to end it out?
You know what? I don't know why we really need a course correct 100%, because, I mean, 8 wasn't bad. I mean, you got the people that wanted the... I mean, here's the thing. We got Episode 7. We got The Force Awakens. And it was basically kind of cookie cutter New Hope, as people said. It was like just a rehash of the New Hope. And you got the uproar of, no, we want something different. All of a sudden, okay, we'll give you guys something different. And now there's an uproar of, oh, it's different. We want something that's... Well, what do you guys want? Let's pick something. Because that's the thing. They did one thing. People didn't... it was a big uproar of people not liking it. Then they did something different because you guys... It was asked for. And what happened, and people got mad about that. So, I mean, there's really not a course correct that needs to happen. We don't need to cookie cut I guess we'd have to do Not Revenge of the Sith, but no, wait.
Return of the Jedi?
Return of the Jedi. We don't need a cookie cut Return of the Jedi in this. Mm-hmm. Instead, maybe we need to have like elements taken from it. And maybe a general outline, like a very general outline of what came from that movie to kind of follow. But it's like a lot of this stuff can be changed. And then we can have kind of the half and half of both.
You know what's something I just thought of now that I didn't think of when we did our review was really it was told to me, and this was through any trilogy, but Star Wars especially, where there's a three movie arc, obviously, where the first one is the hero. It's a classic hero story. Hero comes up, hero faces evil, hero wins. Basically, Luke comes up from nothing. Yes, he sees Obi-Wan die to Darth Vader. Spoilers. But, you like that? Spoilers. But, beats the Death Star in the end. Kaboom. Everything blows up. Everyone's happy. Then you got Empire Strikes Back. Finds out Vader's his father. Off goes his hand. Luke is basically fallen. Like, we see the hero in his lowest point.
Yeah.
Then Return of the Jedi, the third movie. A redemption story where the hero comes back, learning some new things to better his character. And the thing I wonder if could be a reason why people subconsciously maybe not be huge fans of Star Wars Episode 8 is think about the ending to Episode 8. Mm-hmm. Usually we're used to, like, Empire Strikes Back, I'll use that one. Luke, who was the good guy, was the one that was knocked down to where it was like, holy shit, Darth Vader's his father. He's got his hand cut off.
Yeah.
He's sitting there strapped onto the Cloud City kind of antenna and trying to like talk to Leia, like, please come back. And that's where she's like, we got to go back. I hear Luke. But Episode 8, we don't really get that. We don't get that on the good guy side of it.
True.
Like Rey, Poe, Finn, they're not the ones knocked down. Who gets that story? There's someone in Episode 8 that gets that same thing, that same feeling that Luke had. Do you know who it is?
Are you gearing me towards Kylo Ren?
It's Kylo. And maybe that's it. Maybe that people aren't ready for, because good and bad. There might be some people that are like, I like Kylo as a character, but are they ready to feel that way about the bad guy, air quotes?
I mean, hell, here's the thing with that.
Like, I shouldn't care if the bad guy's knocked down. He's a bad guy. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying?
But instead, people aren't thinking they're thinking good guy, bad guy, not
because he's got the whole redemption.
Skywalker family. Because he's a Skywalker.
Yeah, and he's got the whole
bloodline.
Redemption story.
And maybe Rey is too. We still don't know.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like he's got more of a redemption than Rey.
Yeah,
because of the Skywalker past that he has. But that's definitely in the Screen Rant article hits that. If they hit some things that have some questions, and just the basic three of them that I'll mention. There's four of them actually. The first one is, can the rebellion beat the First Order? All right, not very important to me. Like, I don't care if obviously you want the rebellion to win, but I'm not very focused on that from like when I was watching, that wasn't my concern. My concern was more the second one, resolve the Rey and Kylo Ren stories. Like, I want to get that resolution. Then it's the Leia farewell, because obviously they got to say farewell to her sometime. And this is where I think the course correct, air quotes, course correct, comes in more importantly in this last one.
Yeah.
Give us a satisfying ending.
Yeah.
What I think is, if you were going to do any movie to take your chances, take your risks, Episode 8 was the movie.
Yeah, it was.
Because you couldn't do it in Episode 7.
Because you're trying to reintroduce Star Wars.
Yeah, you're coming back. You want everyone energized with it. The Force Awakens was perfect. It kind of tapped into nostalgia, but it didn't feel like... Because nostalgia can be a tricky thing.
I remember.
Well, nostalgia can actually ruin things. Like,
it can.
Have you ever watched old things that you used to like or play old video games? You're like, wow, these graphics are fucking horrible.
Perfect example for me of that was Transformers, the animated
video game.
No, the
series.
animated
from the 80s?
series. Yeah, like
Okay.
late 80s, early 90s. I one day it was on Netflix. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch this. I remember loving it as a kid, and I started watching it. Halfway through the first episode, I'm like,
This is hurting my eyes.
this is hurting my eyes. This looks absolutely horrible.
I was
It was just like graphically, the storyline wasn't that great either.
I was the same way when I hooked up my N64. I'm like, I'm gonna play WWF Warzone.
Yeah.
And basically that was when it was still WWF and not WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna play WWF Warzone. Oh my God, that was horrible. Like the graphics of like the blocky characters, I'm like, I can't do this.
Oh hell!
I can't play it.
I plugged in the it hasn't
The
been
PS2?
plugged, PS2, and I went because
How did I
actually
know you were gonna go PS2? I had a feeling.
because it's
The only PlayStation you have.
Well, I mean, I've told you my jump from system to system was not even like it's not consistent from brand to brand, but it's also not consistent generation to generation.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll get into that on another podcast.
Yeah.
I plugged it in because I was actually testing. We had two in my house. One was shared and one was mine.
Yeah.
We were selling the shared one while I was testing out, made sure it still worked. Plugged it in, threw the game, and I'm like, holy shit, because I just played Xbox that night before, Xbox One.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, these graphics are terrible.
And I'm the same way, especially with that Warzone.
Oh,
But
I still would have played it, but
that's what A New Hope and Force Awakens were. Force Awakens was the let's regenerize, we don't want nostalgia to kill it. And it didn't. It was a good thing.
it pulled out the nostalgia, enough nostalgia to make it good.
Good part of it. And the reason why episode 8 is the one where you could take your risks is you obviously in episode 7 wanted to bring everyone back, get everyone excited about it. And in episode 9, you want to leave it off on a
good note,
satisfying note. And I don't care if you're on the side of, hey, I like that they take risks. I think we can all agree, don't take risks with the ending. Give me a classic Star Wars ending. And the only way you're going to do that is give me a classic Star Wars story for episode 9 that we saw in episode 7.
And actually, there's one point we made earlier how you said the redemption, like the arc.
Yeah.
And it was
The whole
towards
movie arc.
Yeah, well, movie arc, but you said it was geared towards Kylo.
That's what it seems.
Not just
Am I
that.
wrong?
Not just that. I mean, it's for him in some sense, but also instead of it just being from like the first one where it was all just Luke, put it this way. What happened in the first one and the second one with the... I want to call them the Republic. They're the Resistance.
The Rebellion.
The Rebellion.
Now they're back to the Rebellion.
The Rebellion, yeah. But now it's almost exactly like what happened with Luke at the very ending. Goes up against the First Order. They almost get completely demolished.
Yeah.
And then they
decimated. I think was the word you were
That's the word
looking
I
for.
was looking for. Actually, yeah.
Decimated. It sounds better than
they almost get
demolished.
completely decimated, and they narrowly escape.
Yeah.
Does that not sound like what happened to Luke in the second one?
No, it does, because he got his hand chopped off. Vader could have killed him.
Yeah, he could have just killed him then and there.
But he lived. And maybe
even falling down the chute, he could have gotten killed that way.
Maybe that's more of the line that they're going with, but I just think maybe I was thinking of it because it's one solo person.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying in the general scape too, it still fit the storyline of that.
The thing though with the course correct with J.J. Abrams is the thing that I like. I think when we use the word course correct, we're kind of jabbing at emotions. Because obviously people who loved episode 8 are going to be like, you're fucking crazy. We don't need a course correct. But then there's people that hated it that are like, yeah, we need a course correct. The thing that I have said, and I think that both you and Sean have been against this since I've said it, I'll say it one more time for people who haven't heard me say it, is this last Star Wars trilogy is why I believe that, hey, if I'm going to do a trilogy, if you're going to have J.J. Abrams be the one, you're going to have him be the third, have him be the second. Have the same director for all 3 movies. Make sure that continuity is there throughout so you don't get well, I liked what J.J. Abrams did, but fuck Rian Johnson. I did not like what he did with episode 8. So you don't get that. It's one story, then it's one writer, one director, kind of, it's their vision throughout 3 movies, and you don't have to worry about someone else having a different opinion and changing kind of what it was, because Force Awakens and Episode 8, two totally different kind of atmospheres, I would say.
Yeah, that's
not
true.
just where they were in the story, but just how they were
that's what I
directed
thought
and
you meant.
stuff.
No.
But like Episode 9, the big thing that I think needs to be hit, and this is what we'll end it on. What needs to be hit with Episode 9 that's most important to me is, one, resolving the Rey Kylo Ren story, because I get what they were doing with the whole parent thing. I didn't like, the more I think about it, I don't like that they did the thing with Kylo where it's like, your parents were nothing. Do I think he's lying? Yeah, I do.
I do too.
However, part of me, as I think about it more and more, goes, they could have maybe done that a little bit better, to where it's like, to make me, yes, I'm invested in it, but to make me even more invested in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I'm not opposed to him telling her, like, lying to her like that.
Yeah.
But maybe, like, find a different way of putting it and a different way of going about it.
Or like not Darth Mauling, your biggest baddie, who I was super excited in.
Yeah, really.
Like,
yeah.
come on. He was that was the guy that was really fucking with Kylo's head, and you kill him.
Yeah, just so simply. But my to go back to the other one, I do like the fact that he lied to her, because I get where he was going with it. He was trying to put her down.
Yeah.
To say, no, just be my apprentice, follow me, since you're not.
To make it easier for her to follow the bad side, the dark side.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to put her down so he can be,
break down her will.
Exactly. Well, that's because he just killed his master. Now he needs an apprentice.
Yeah.
And who better than the one that's just as strong in the Force as you?
Who you guys just talked about being, we can be together and rule the universe.
Exactly. And then try and put her down so that you can say, no, you're nothing. You're not a Skywalker. You're not a well-known family name. You're just nobody. So just follow me. That's what he was trying to do. And I get that, just maybe slightly different. It wasn't terrible. The acting for it was great. It was pretty good for, I don't want to say pretty good. It was fine for how it went about, but it could have probably been better.
The three things, and this is what I'll end on, three things they need to hit in Episode 9. Resolving the Kylo and Rey storyline, the Leia farewell. Because I am adamant to where once you knew, I would have just been like, Leia's dead. Like, that's it. She's floating there. It's Leia's goodbye.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that Superman to save the day as she comes back to the door. Because that's basically what she was. She was super. I didn't know that she was Henry Cavill, but apparently she is. And then number 3 is giving us a satisfied ending. Like, that's what I think that's the most important thing, I think, why J.J. Abrams is on for Episode 9, is maybe they had this thought out beforehand, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, there's a little bit of backlash on Episode 8. We got to make people happy so that because there's another trilogy coming up. It's not going to be this story. It's going to be a completely other story. I think it's Ryan Johnson's trilogy now. The guy who just did Episode 8 will have the new trilogy all to himself. But yeah, that I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, yeah, let's get JJ back because we need to make people happy. We need to end this right so people aren't mad at Episode 9. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the conversation. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know down below. Do you think Star Wars needs a course correct? That's probably the first question. Do you think it needs a course correct, so I know which side of the argument you stand on? Then number 2, do you think that J.J. Abrams will or can course correct if you think it needs one? This is a complicated outro. If you think it needs a course correct, will J.J. Abrams do that course correct in Episode 9? Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. But Johnny, let's move on into our third topic. Usually I'm saying final topic, but we got a jam-packed...
Yeah, we got
Did I mention
today.
we got a jam-packed show today?
No, I don't think you ever mentioned that.
Jam-packed show. We got 4 topics.
I don't think you ever mentioned that.
This is not the last topic. This is just our next topic. The next one is obviously our last one.
Back to Disney.
We're back in the Disney world for a little bit. And what we're looking at is...
Well,
according to...
We were in Disney, now we're Disney Marvel again.
Yeah, Disney Marvel. We're back in our wheelhouse.
Yes.
Our real wheelhouse. Well, Star Wars is...
Rear wheelhouse?
Our real wheelhouse. Wow, that's a tongue twister if I ever saw one. But basically, the Wrap.com has reported that Marvel Studios has picked up Blacklist screenwriter Jack Schaefer to write Black Widow, the first solo film featuring the Marvel superhero played since 2010 by Scarlett Johansson, an individual with knowledge of the project, told The Rep. That's the exact quote. And if I go into, do they have a quote from from Schaefer? They do not. I thought they had a quote. If they did, I was obviously going to read it. However,
Ricky
Johnny,
loves his quotes.
We had talked about in the past that Taika Waititi wanted to do the Black Widow movie as a comedy. I don't think this will be a comedy. So the first question I will ask you is, obviously we're going to get into what kind of a story we'll see, but what should we expect from the Black Widow movie?
I'm excited that they're finally planning one out because, I mean, there's a few ways we can go about it. I know we've talked about it in another podcast, but we'll just go over it again.
Yep.
Since that's the thing. I mean, and it's not going to be a comedy because that's what we were talking about with that one.
It's not. And the reason why I just want to cut you off really quick, that it's not going to be a comedy, is I've never watched the show, but I know the show very well. The Blacklist with James Spader.
James Spader is what you said was the actor.
Yeah, James Spader. I couldn't remember if it was Jason or James.
James
Spader, basically Ultron.
Yeah.
That show's a drama action thriller. More crime drama, but still drama action thriller. If Schaefer's writing the screenplay, expect it to be similar to that. It's going to have drama. It's going to have action. It's going to be a thriller. That's what I expect from the Black Widow movie.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that because that's her kind of background. And with ScarJo, I just wonder if we're going to get an origin story because let's put it this way.
I would love it. Tell me how she became an agent.
No, let's put it this way.
Take me through that dark past.
It's going to be Phase 4. Phase 4 said there's not going to be like a continuity thing much anymore, other than like we're going to have cosmic.
Just going to have good stories.
Yeah, exactly. No one's going to necessarily. We're probably going to tie people in a sense, but loosely. It's not going to be this long storyline.
Yeah,
necessarily. That's what they were saying. But what would be great with that is we get either a Black Widow origin story. Or just hear me out. We get it doesn't have to be the actual origin story. It's the, like you said, becoming an agent story.
I'm thinking.
Or Budapest.
I
want Budapest.
That would be awesome if we got. I was thinking if we can get her and Hawkeye team up buddy cop movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Which would basically be Budapest.
Yeah,
which they've referenced before.
Yes,
in past movies.
You and I remember Budapest very differently.
I don't think they would do that though, only because I think they would want to keep Black Widow in her own solo movie.
Yeah, no,
and not have her either any spotlight taken away by Hawkeye.
With what we gather from the other, you really gonna think Hawkeye's gonna take the spotlight away from her?
I mean, there are probably some people that like Hawkeye better than Black Widow. I might be one of them. I would prefer Hawkeye, yeah.
Okay, anyways.
I'm sorry, I like Renner. He's awesome.
I didn't say he's not.
Yeah. Did you see him in Age of Ultron, man? Those jokes he was...
Oh, yeah, those were great. Anyways.
I could kill you right now and no one would notice.
Oh, man, Ultron just sat on him. It's a shame, really. Yeah. But anyways, back to the actual thing. You're going to need Renner for the other one, too. Yeah. For the becoming an agent, because in the Marvel universe, it stated that I didn't take her out like I was supposed to. Instead, kind of like converted her into an agent. Yeah, and the thing that you'll still need him in there. The thing that I really want to do, like what I'm thinking is, I just want it to be, because I think of what I've seen on TV from the Blacklist. Although I haven't watched it, I probably should. Yeah. But I want it to be darker, and also I want to dive into that Russian trauma that she had. What made her what she was? Like, we got a little piece of it, and I think it wasn't Civil War. I think it was Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron,
where she had the Scarlet Witch did that thing to her head. Yeah, we got a little piece of what's going on up here. The Red Room. I want to know about that. I want to dive into that. Well, dive into that trauma for Black Widow. We can get that, but I don't think we're going to get ScarJo to act for that or for a chunk of it, because the Red Room starts her as a kid.
Okay.
So it's going to be
maybe right after the Red Room. Then.
Well,
you know
I would
what I'm saying? Give me that early Black Widow where it's like she was that before she's even in S.H.I.E.L.D., before she even meets Jeremy Renner or Hawkeye.
Would be cool if here's my layout for the for the movie. We have a brief introduction with her as a kid and starting off in the Red Room. Little training things here and there, kind of a montage in a sense, but let's not go with the cheesy 80s montage. We're gonna need a montage. Anyways, no, we go through like a kind of a montage-ish thing there, and then go to like trying so we can get quickly to her as an adult Red Room ending there. Her training's complete, blah blah blah, and then maybe have her on something with a main mission of that.
I'm looking here
on the becoming an agent storyline.
Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to play a game here.
No.
I got an article from sci-fi.com.
Okay.
They basically have an article that's 7 classic stories that the Black Widow movie could possibly use.
Okay.
We're going to play the game right here. I'm going to pitch the story to you. You give we give our thoughts on would we want them to use this or not.
Okay.
The first one is Black Widow, the Itsy Bitsy Spider. And this was the story for it. It introduced Yelena Barlova, a young spy who was determined to take the title of Black Widow from Natasha Romanoff. The conflict between the two Black Widows plays out against the backdrop of a mission with border implications for the Marvel Universe. This one is such an important chapter for Natasha that it seems like an obvious choice, blah, 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 blah.
I think it would be...
Basically, someone's trying to take the Black Widow title from her, and there's a mission that she's on also.
That would be a good one because you could tie it in as eventually that girl is part of her mission. Mm-hmm. But the thing with that is you could have it where it's ScarJo, it's present day, and it could just be... basically, like it says, a kind of fight for the Black Widow title.
I'm intrigued with this next one.
Okay.
And it's called Black Widow Web of Intrigue. I'm intrigued with this one. But basically, the way they start out is, can Black Widow pull off a James Bond style adventure? I would love to see it. Let's find out. It's a very 80s storyline that would have to be updated for the big screen and for the current state of the MCU, since the movies have yet to acknowledge the return of S.H.I.E.L.D. on the TV side. The short recap of this story is that Natasha is targeted by 6 world-class assassins to keep her out of the way while her doppelganger plots to kill Nick Fury. That's actually the perfect reason to keep Natasha's fellow Avengers from helping her. What if it's this? What if it's not Nick Fury? And it's basically a James Bond style adventure where all these assassins are trying to kill her, and then there's a doppelganger for Natasha who's trying to kill Captain America.
Infiltrate the Avengers?
Infiltrate the Avengers. That could also work too.
Yeah. It said something about her being on a mission, right?
It just said 6 worlds, keep her out of the way. So she's dealing with the assassins.
It's 6 assassins keeping her out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The doppelganger then tries to kill Nick Fury.
No, because I was trying. I thought there was like a mission in between there too mentioned.
No, not in this one.
Because I was gonna say, to tie that all in, maybe this doppelganger is like kind of outed this Black Widow as the fake, and she has to actually go to find Nick Fury, because didn't he kind of just he came back at
yeah, he was back.
No, he disappeared at the end of Winter Soldier, right?
Did he?
I thought he did.
I don't. You know what? Honestly,
no, he came back in Age of Ultron.
I don't remember seeing Nick Fury in a long time.
I
don't remember seeing him in quite some time.
No, because he came back in Age of Ultron. Never mind.
This is why we should just marathon the movies, bro. We should just marathon all of them.
Let's go right now.
The next one, I don't know if they're gonna. I'm gonna skip over it only because we're talking solo movie.
Yeah,
we're not talking team up. But they did mention Hawkeye and Mockingbird / Black Widow. It's called Widowmaker. They also have Black Widow Kiss or Kill, And Kiss or Kill writer-artist crafted a tale in which Natasha is framed for the murder of a United States senator. In addition to dealing with the CIA and a batch of superhuman assassins, Natasha also has to contend with the senator's son, who desperately wants to expose her as her father's killer. It's a very tight, self-contained adventure. This could be perfect because you know who the senator could be? The guy from Civil War with the Registration Act.
That wasn't a senator, though.
That was Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
What if it's... Oh, I'm trying to think.
What about the senator that's always given Tony Stark a hard time?
Yes, that could
the
work.
one that's kind of part of Hydra?
That could work.
Yeah.
What if it's one of those? Well, I wouldn't say part of Hydra.
Was part of Hydra.
Yeah, but this one I'd be... This one and The Web of Intrigue are my favorite
so far, yeah.
Like, I would love a story to where... Because...
No.
That's
maybe.
that's the great part about some of these stories is, I want to know a little bit about the Red Room. These are making me forget about it, though. Like, and that's one thing I'll bring up right now. Do we need an origin story from Black Widow?
Not necessarily, but I would love to see something about the Red Room.
Like, do we need And
do we need it? No,
because
we know who she is.
This is just a comic book thing in general with movies. When you start out with a character and you do their first solo movie, does that first solo movie have to be an origin? I mean, look at Spider-Man Homecoming, where
it wasn't an origin.
It wasn't
anymore.
an origin. We knew, okay, Spider-Man's here.
We've had that storyline crammed down our throats at this point.
Kind of like Batman. How many times do I have to see his parents die? How many times do I have to see Bruce Wayne lose his parents? I get the deal. His parents died. Now, the only good thing about that in BVS was that we get Jeffrey Dean. We get Jeffrey Dean Morgan
multiply by
as
7.
Thomas Wayne, which sets him up to hopefully be Thomas Wayne in
Divide
Flashpoint.
by 6.
You got your answer?
No, I'm still. There's a lot more
tricky.
math I need to do.
You want to know the next story that they have out? The name for it? Black Widow, Homecoming. What if they? Hey, we already had Spider-Man Homecoming. Black Widow Homecoming. That's the name of the movie.
I don't think we're going with that name.
No, I don't think so either. But in this one, offers a darker. This one I could see because it's a darker story. A darker, almost Jason Bourne-like take on Black Widow as she briefly retires from the spy game, which I could see because she's been doing this for a while.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
Before an attempt on her life forces her to go back to the one place she has desperately wanted to avoid, Russia. This is it. This is my favorite. This is it. We done it. We found it.
We get the Red Room back.
Like, come on. This is the one. This is the perfect. Like, I'm not even fully through it. We're basically behind this story. It's one of the most brutal Black Widow tales that Marvel has ever weaved. If this was ever made into a movie, it would probably earn a rated R rating. Here's what I love, Johnny. They sold me on this one, and I've got 2 more to read. They sold me because it's dark. She's already been doing this for a while. We're going to get
Jason Bourne-esque, like you said.
I could care less about that. I mean, James Bond, Jason Bourne.
James Bond and Jason Bourne have 2 very different feelings.
No, I know. I'm saying, give me either or and I'll be happy.
Yeah, but
like, I'm not sitting on that fact and being that's the deal breaker.
I'm saying more so with Black Widow, I feel
would be more of a Jason Bourne.
Lean towards the Jason Bourne style.
Here's what I love about it, though. Chris Evans probably going to be gone.
Yeah.
Tony Stark probably going to be gone.
Yeah.
Well, not Robert Downey. Tony Stark probably going to be gone. Because
contracts are up too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay.
The Cap we know is going to be gone. It's probably going to be Bucky or Falcon. Iron Man's going to be gone. If they want to bring back Iron Man, they're probably going to bring back, what's her name? Riri Williams? That's the one in the comics right now, the female Iron Man that we have.
I think so, yeah.
What's not to say that we tell a story of Black Widow where it's like, hey, all of the people that I got in this with
are gone.
So I'm getting out of the spy game. Like, basically a very Lethal Weapon style of, and I would love for Black Widow to just be there and go, man, I'm getting too old for this shit. Getting too old for this shit. And so she leaves, has to be drawn back in, and she has to go back to the one place she doesn't want to go. She has to face her past, the one that we saw in that vision from Scarlet Witch.
True. Very true.
This is my favorite, like, so far. Like, it brings back everything. The ending of a Black Widow character, It brings in the tie of something that we've already seen in an MCU movie. Final two, we've got Black Widow, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Most Wanted. This was the most recent Black Widow story. Let's see. Incredible Tale. Sequences. I'm trying to look for an exact plot. It doesn't have one. And then basically Black Widow, Name of the Rose, which is yet another story in which Natasha is framed as a traitor, kind of a common theme with the spy game.
Seems like it.
By enemies outside the government. But what makes Name of the Rose stand out is that Majori Liu and Daniel Acuna incorporate many of Natasha's closest allies, like Iron Man and Wolverine. That could be interesting if we want to put X-Men in this. In the race to clear her name, Black Widow's side of the story could easily work on its own, but considering the recent Disney-Fox deal, getting Wolverine to appear in a Black Widow movie isn't as far-fetched as the idea used to be. Out of the 7, my favorite's still Homecoming. I would say my favorite is Homecoming. Well, yeah, I'm talking about the
no,
comic. I would say if I had to pick 2 that I'm incorporating stories with, maybe Homecoming kind of tied in with... I'm going to say Homecoming tied in with Itsy Bitsy Spider. Because you have she's out of the game. She gets drawn back in. How does she get drawn back in? There's a different agent that wants to take that from her.
The title.
And the only way, let's say the agency that like started everything is like, you can only have the title when she's dead.
Yeah.
So that's what draws her back into the game. Guess where she has to go back to? Russia. She has to tie that bow up in a nice... that present up in a nice little bow.
Like most comic book movies, we take from multiple sources. Anyways,
that's what I'm saying.
We can have both, but you can also have that one that you were talking about. The last
Web
one was
of Intrigue.
The last one was the Web of... No.
The Name of the Rose.
Yeah, but that's a frame-up one, right?
Yeah, she's framed, and then Iron Man and Wolverine have to help clear her name.
I mean, well, we
that
don't have
one I
Iron
don't
Man.
see because I think Robert Downey's done.
Well... But to tie, I mean, if they want to tie in the X-Men to the Marvel Universe more,
they could just do Wolverine on his own.
They could
or do they change it and put X-23 in there? I don't think they do that, but it's a possibility.
Because put Wolverine instead of Iron Man.
The thing is, Wolverine. I don't know when they want to pull that bullet and or pull that trigger. I should pull that bullet. Pull that trigger and say, yeah, we're going to recast Wolverine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hugh, your time has been greatly up for some time now. But yeah, I would
just offer him more money. You have it, Disney.
Me on my own, I would take Homecoming.
Those two,
and It's a Bitsy Spider.
I was trying to see if I can get that last one to tie in, but I realized with having a frame-up movie, it's not going to work.
Web of Intrigue could work, though, a little bit, because that's the one where 6 assassins are coming after her. I wonder if 6 is too much. It wouldn't be exactly 6, but you know what I mean. More than that one person. I think that you could tie in Itsy Bitsy Spider and Homecoming because you can have that agent that comes after her be from Russia.
Yeah.
And that's what forces her back to go to the place she doesn't want to go.
It's either tie in those two or you can tie in, and this is just me trying to find them a way to get the X-Men in there, because you don't even have to have Iron Man or Wolverine.
This is probably going to come out like 2020, probably.
Yeah, maybe. If then. I mean,
let me see. Marvel hasn't set a date for Black Widow film yet. The studio has a full slate of projects dated through 2019. Infinity War Part 2, which is also likely to feature Black Widow. But Marvel chief Kevin Feige said in 2016 that the studio and parent company Disney are committing to giving the character her own movie and possible franchise.
Well, the other one I was going to say is, I don't remember where in the list it was, but that last one,
Name of the Rose.
Name of the Rose, which is she gets framed and someone has to help clear her name, tied in with that Senator's Son one, and that's the one with the 6 assassins.
The Senator's Son one was Kiss or Kill.
And that would be the one with the 6 assassins as well, right?
No, that's the one where... So she is framed for murdering the senator. Then she has to deal with CIA and a batch of superhuman assassins.
There we go. Superhuman assassins tied in with someone who's also superhuman to help her out.
And the assassin's son also. Or the
senator's son. And that's more of a not a physical, but a more of a What word am I looking for?
Emotional, not emotional.
Mental.
Kind of, it's not that, hey, I'm going to punch you in the face. It's more mind games.
Yeah, it's more mind games of, hey, don't do this. I didn't actually kill your father. And then, I mean...
Or the senator's son trying to play chess pieces to kill her.
with the superhuman assassins. And then I think that would be great. Those two could be tied in together, too. It'd be cool.
They could.
And then that gives you a kind of, not an out, but a way to tie in some other superhuman in there we don't have yet.
I'll be completely honest about this movie. Yeah. When you and I talked about it many moons ago about could it be a comedy? I was not excited. Like, I had the same mindset for this movie that you and I talked about Kitty Pryde earlier.
Really?
I was just like, I'm not going to be excited for this. Like, a Black Widow movie? I ain't going to care about Black Widow. She's a secondary character to me. Like, I wasn't really buying into it. Now that we look at this, see some other stories of it, and we know it's going to happen, I'm buying in a little. Disney's getting me to buy in a little bit now that I'm starting to concoct
at some point, Disney's
theories.
going to find a way to get you to buy in anyways.
Yeah, no, they are. That's what they do. The mouse gets you to buy in, usually all the time. Let's turn on to you guys, get your money. What do you guys think down below? What kind of any Black Widow story we didn't mention that you think should be tied in to the Black Widow solo movie? You guys let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. But Johnny, let's end the podcast with our final topic, our fourth topic of the podcast. And what we're looking at this is an interesting one because part of me thinks the question is like, what are you talking about? However, it's interesting because I think it has validity in the sense of its question so the question for this topic is basically, will Spider-Man films rule 2018? And your first thought to me, the first thing you said to me was Venom. That's all we got, right?
Yeah.
However, we're still going to have, you got to remember, with the Sony Spider-Verse, that Into the Spider-Verse, the animated trailer that we saw,
I forgot about that,
is going to be involved in that. So basically we have Venom and we have Into the Spider-Verse. And the Screen Rant article I pulled this from was basically an article talking about 2008 Spider-Man movies. So Spider-Man
18.
Into the 18. The Venom movie and Into the Spider-Verse. Are those going to be more exciting than the Avengers? Is it going to be more exciting than the Marvel lineup we have right now for the MCU? We've got Infinity War. We've got
Black Panther.
We've got, I'm thinking Ant-Man and Wasp. And I'll ask you, will the Spider-Man films rule 2018? Will we be more excited about them at the end of the year? When 2017 is all and over, will we be more excited about these films than we were about the MCU?
As of now, I can't say I will. Because did you see Infinity War's trailer? Have you seen
I remember our reaction to it.
Yes.
Our immediately reaction to it.
Yeah, the one we started messaging each other. Holy shit!
Yep, it was insane.
Black Panther, the trailer for that.
Oh, the latest trailer, they gave you what you wanted, by the way. With Ulysses Claw. You might have missed it because it was during the national championship game for college football.
I missed it.
They actually gave you what you wanted with Ulysses Claw. He's got his photon cannon or whatever. It's not a photon cannon, is it?
It's a sound cannon.
It's a sound cannon, but they gave him that. And you can actually see him using it now. Out. Yeah, you do.
I somehow missed that.
Yeah, they gave him, I saw that and I'm like, Johnny's going to be happy. They gave him his cannon arm.
I might piss my pants.
You've been hammering for. But the thing that I look at with this is I kind of want to say no right now. Only because Infinity War.
Yeah.
Like Infinity War, and it's kind of like what Chris Evans said in that panel I was listening to. Marvel never misses.
No.
He's like, they never miss on a movie. So taking that into it, like, am I going to be excited for the Spider-Man movies?
Yeah.
Yes. But at the end of the year, am I going to be more exciting? I think it all rides on for the MCU. I'll be completely honest. It all rides on Avengers. Because Ant-Man and Wasp is going to be, I bet you walking out of that, it's going to be, that was a good movie. However, it's the same comedy we saw in Ant-Man 1.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be... that was
like,
fun.
It's one of those... Yeah, that was exactly like walking on Ant-Man. Well, that was a fun movie.
Yeah.
That was a real fun movie.
And,
or
well, don't forget, for Ant-Man, when we saw it, hey, I got this T-shirt.
Hey, I got this T-shirt. And then mine was too small, so I gave it to like Dave or someone. But then it was
I think you gave me
Black Panther.
You gave me it, and I gave Dave mine because mine was a size smaller.
That's right. Then Black Panther is one of those where I think it's going to be really good, but it's not going to be on the same hype level.
No, I mean we're going to say fuck
War.
yeah,
yeah,
but we're not going to like basically. I have the vision of pissing my pants during Infinity Wars.
And do these Spider-Man films have the potential to be better at the end of the year? I'll say yeah.
Yeah, they have potential, but to beat out Infinity Wars is kind of a stretch at this point.
It depends. Like, the only way I
say kind of a stretch.
The only way I would say this rules 2018 in your mind is if you're a Spider-Man fan. And that may be the only reason why I'm giving it a little bit more shot than you are.
Yeah.
Because my two favorite heroes, if I had to pick one DC and one Marvel, I've got Batman on the DC side. I've got Spidey on the Marvel side. Like, those are my jams.
Yeah.
Just give me guys who, as they were kids, have their Uncle Bens or their fathers and mothers killed, and that's a hero that I can relate to. Not really. My parents never died. Never had anyone die like that when I was a kid. However, those are my heroes.
You just like parentless heroes.
I love the tragedy. I love just wrapping my arms around that hero and saying, you are my hero. You are the one that I am going to fight for and defend. In every superhero argument, Batman can beat Superman. Write it down. However, that might be one of the only reasons for the Spidey universe, because I'm interested to see how they do this. Venom's going to set it up. We've seen there's clips now of him talking to Brazil Comic-Con, where he was in the Venom shirt and he was talking a little bit. They were on the San Francisco set that they haven't let anyone see before. We've seen a little bit of what he could look like in the symbiote and heard more about that movie. And then the animated movie's interesting because it looks at it to where Peter Parker's dead and there's multiple It's not just Miles Morales.
Spider-Men.
There's Spider-Men and women. We probably get Spider-Gwen in there too.
Maybe.
That are all dancing around here in this kind of New York landscape. So I would say that right now for the Spider-Man stuff, it's not a for sure, yes, it's going to rule and be better than the Avengers, but in the intriguing battle, I would say these two movies are more intriguing than Infinity War. I think Infinity War is more hype. I can't wait for this ride I've been on for 10, 12 years to be over, whereas the Spider-Man ones are, wow, I'm intrigued because you either love or hate, in your mind, hate the old Spider-Man films.
The old ones, yeah.
But it's more intriguing in the sense of, will Sony finally get it right? That's what I think it is. More intriguing than Avengers, yes. Better than them right now, I don't know. I got to wait and see.
My thing would be, I agree with you. It's more intriguing because we've had less on this, other than like little snippets here and there.
And we've never had a Spideyverse. Like, we're also after.
Yeah, we did get Spidey. That's true.
After 2018, we're even also going to have Black and Silver.
Yeah,
the Silver Sable Black Cat movie as well.
Yeah, the plans are for that too. Yeah, the thing is,
and
like,
Homecoming too.
Yeah, and well, that's Marvel's.
It's still kind of Sony in there. It's a Marvel movie though.
Yeah, but the thing with that is, I'm intrigued for the Spideyverse, and just like Venom, that combo. Yeah. But is it gonna beat out? As of now, I'm gonna say no. It's not.
It's not gonna beat it out the box office. Don't expect that.
Well, no. I even like to beat out for like to answer our question. Is it gonna like win 2018? As of now, no, because I am more excited for Black Panther and Infinity Wars, and it's cool we got the extra of Ant-Man and Wasp. I'm not saying that that's going to make or break anything, but those two movies that I just mentioned are the ones that so far seem like they're going to win 2018. And I'll have to wait and see too with that.
Let's put it into this perspective, and this is all kind of predicting stuff.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen the movies. I am basically going to throw this out there, is the fact that if you were to ask me beginning of the year, which it technically is right now still.
Basically.
For our movie awards that we're going to have at the end of the year again, if you haven't checked out our 2017 ones, please check them out. However, the thing that I would ask, if you asked me, like, okay, predict what's going to be the movie of the year for you guys end of the year. I would say hands down, like, we're at the end of the year. We're pulling up the nominations again. We're announcing Avengers Infinity War Best Picture.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I would say.
That's what I picture so
However,
far.
that's because of the hype machine and the extra hype for Infinity War. Like,
it's getting an award. I'm predicting that now.
I think it's gonna get Best Picture. And of course, people watching the podcast are probably like, well, you guys are the main voters, so whatever you say goes. But I could watch it and think it's horrible. That could happen. There's still that possibility. Or there's another movie like, here's the thing, and this is a little off top from the Spider-Man, but I want to get into it now.
Okay.
I was talking to Brandon last night before our meeting here for MVP, and I said, I'm like, you know what? I was kind of upset. Not upset, but I was kind of bummed that we didn't get to see The Greatest Showman, because I'm hearing so many good things about it. And I feel like if we would have seen it, either it would have been involved in Best Picture, or Hugh Jackman
could have won.
Would have won Show Stealer of the Year, because then he would have two, just like Michael Keaton,
and then he would have been higher movies as well. He would have won it. Well, that's again.
It would have affected
as we even
awards.
stated in that, as you clicked above me earlier. The whole thing that would have been on that is if he won Show Stealer. So I don't know. We didn't see the movie, and that's because of time conflicts.
From what I'm hearing, and this is just me happenstance.
Yeah,
there's probably two people I would have picked.
Hugh Jackman,
probably either
and
Hugh
I forgot the
Jackman
other
or
name.
Zendaya.
Zendaya, okay.
Which Zendaya also would have been a second person we've seen in a movie.
Second person we've seen in a movie. She didn't get Show Stealer though.
No, well, Mary Jane wasn't.
Was a big part.
MJ wasn't getting a Show Stealer.
No, she wasn't.
And let's be completely honest, probably was not. Michael Keaton stole that show completely. But getting back to the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on like coming into 2018? These are the two movies we have: the Into the Spider-Verse, Venom. I know it's early. I know it's January. What are you thinking about them? Like, yeah, we said they're more intriguing, but what are your thoughts coming in? Start with Venom. Your thoughts right now. I know we've talked about it in the past, but are you excited? Are you intrigued? Go more in depth.
Well, I'm excited and intrigued with Venom because I hear it, like, we keep getting snippet here, snippet there of what the storyline's supposed to finally follow.
And the thing I heard, I don't know if this is true. This is probably just speculation.
But we haven't even got a trailer yet.
The biggest question that I hear is going to be what they do at Carnage. And I know we talked about Carnage as well. Yeah, you're late on that one.
I am a little bit.
But the thing is, we talked about Carnage. However, it's from what I hear, what they could do is instead of having Cassidy be Carnage, the guy who's probably going to be the main baddie, who's the head of the lab that is studying the symbiote and trying to create multiple versions of it, they could, if they wanted to, make him the version of Cassidy that bonds with Carnage. So it's basically you have this antagonist who's already the evil baddie binds with Carnage right there.
Could do that.
Like, that's what I'm hearing. I don't know if I would like that completely, but that's the biggest question about this movie is you're going to have these symbiotes. Obviously, you're going to have Carnage in it. What are you going to do with Carnage?
No, I'm kind of excited, and I'm not like the hype of Infinity Wars or Black Panther. I'll get to why on that. But I'm also intrigued because and it all ties in together because we haven't even gotten like a legitimate trailer yet for this.
No.
And it's supposed to come out this year. And so it's like, well, you guys haven't given me much to get excited about yet because I don't know much about the movie other than what's come out in articles, what you and I have talked about, potential stuff. And now that you brought this up, it's like, I kind of was hoping for Cassidy.
And we should be getting a trailer soon because it comes out in October.
Yeah, so we should have.
It's October
soon, if not already.
5th, 2018 is when we're going to get it.
We should soon, if not already, have gotten one. But,
yeah.
I mean, So that's the thing. I mean, when are we going to get a Venom trailer to like get us excited about Venom? As for the Into the Spider-Verse, you said that's supposed to be
it's an animated
movie?
That's what they're saying. It's an animated movie.
Something like that sounds a lot more like it should be a series on TV. Mm-hmm. So I'm intrigued, and I don't know if I'm super excited about it at the moment. Because the animation reminded me of that other Spider-Man thing that came out and was very short-lived.
It is from what it says online, an American computer animated superhero film.
Yeah. No, I don't know if you remember that shortly lived animated Spider-Man film. Or not film, but series that came out.
And the thing that's interesting about it, it's going to be in theaters.
Okay, so it is
So like it's not going to be like one of those where it's straight to DVD. Let's see what we get. No, this is going to be in theaters. It's going to be in IMAX. It's going to be in real IMAX 3D.
Interesting.
Like, this is going to be legit a movie that we get. But that one's also... Here's another thing, and this might play into it too, where the Marvel movies, the 3 that we have, Marvel, May, June, July. Early. The 2 Spider-Man ones, October and December. October 5th, December 21st.
Wow.
So there's that part of it too of will they rule 2018 because they're going to be the last thing we saw and the freshest thing in our minds as the year ends.
As you can sorry, let's try English again.
Sometimes it's hard, man.
It is. It's a complicated language. As you can see in our
movie
award show, you can see that doesn't always make the case.
Yeah.
Look who was in the running and won best movie of the year.
Logan.
Yeah. And that was at the beginning of March of 2017? February.
Yeah, it was
it's one of the first.
Because that was the first
movie review we did.
Well, it was also the first podcast we recorded.
It was.
Because we recorded the first ever podcast and then we did the Logan review.
That's right.
Logan review still the longest review by like 5 minutes, I think, like
still
3 to 5 minutes. The thing, like, that's also an important part of when they come out, though, to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Rule 2018 doesn't really mean in everyone's minds where do they rank on the Rick and Johnny movie awards.
That's very true.
It's just general perception, and I wonder because they're coming out so late, if they do a good enough job, if people are so hyped then about them to where they almost forget about like a Black Panther, about an Ant-Man, because I don't think you forget about an Avengers. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see these 2 films, especially I'm most intrigued about Into the Spider-Verse because this is the first time that I can remember a studio saying, you know what, we're going to have an animated one that's going to tie in. However, I wonder what this will mean for the future because that animated one showed Peter Parker's grave in the trailer. So Tom Holland's not going to be related to that one? Like,
guess he's not.
You're not going to, but then how is it related? Are they related to the live actions? That's what I'm intrigued about with this one. But any final thoughts on the Spider-Man movies before we wrap this shindig up?
I'm intrigued about them. I'm a little bit excited for Venom, and I don't know how I feel about Into the Spider-Verse yet, just because, like I said, it's reminding me of that short-lived, and like I said, I don't remember if you remember it, the computer animated Spider-Man that came out for a little bit.
The Neil Patrick Harris one.
Yeah.
Where all I could do is listen to Spider-Man and hear Barney Stinson.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. It was
I hated it because
I didn't like the animation.
I love NPH. But he's not Spider-Man.
No, but I also the biggest thing for me was the animation. I didn't like it. So I'm intrigued to see how it goes with this because we just got like a really short trailer before. And maybe we'll get like a little bit better trailer so we can see a little bit how the animation's going to be. But obviously they're going to get our money anyways, right, Ricky?
Yeah, no, they are. We're going to go see it. We're going to review it.
Yeah.
It's a Marvel like character.
Yeah.
So of course we're going to go see it.
But it's going to be interesting doing
an animated one.
Yeah.
It'll be our first animated review that's in a theater.
Yeah.
Because we'll do we're going to do some Netflix ones.
Netflix series.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll throw in some Disney ones if something comes up that we really want to see. But yeah.
Going to be reviewing Titans too. I know that's not animated, but that's going to be huge too.
We'll have to do that.
But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below about the Spider-Verse movies. Will they rule 2018? Let us know down below in the comment section. Also, if you're on YouTube listening to the full podcast or just this segment, thank you guys for watching the podcast today. If you're on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, did I say Stitcher?
I think you did. But you can say it again.
Or mostvaluablepodcast.com. Thank you guys for checking out the full audio podcast. If you're on YouTube, we also have full audio podcasts in all of the places that I just named. Housekeeping here at the end. Number one, you want an MVP t-shirt. All that's down below in the description with the directions. 2, if you loved what we did here today, make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. It's the one way to help support the channel and get a little bit of reward. You can get a Patreon podcast for supporting us. You can get be able to become a member, or not a member, a guest on the show, talking about whatever you would like to talk about for that month. And then also, if you're on iTunes, please give the Rick and Johnny podcast 5 stars. If you haven't already, check out mostvaluablepodcast.com. And thank you to our patrons for making that happen. I want to thank you guys for either watching this podcast, listening to this podcast, and as always, have a good day, everybody.